That's what is kind of cool about the four quadrant, by the way. It's like you kind of analyze things between quadrants. So like the double blind test and all that, they are influenced, let's say by the culture, the society. So they are influenced by the society quadra or the individual exterior. But OPS actually analyze the type, so it's more between the interior individual and the interior collective. But the way that they track it is actually with the exterior collective. So that's why it's very complicated. But to summarize it, you can say, okay, like OPS in of itself is more an interior universal, interior precise system. But the way that the process that they arrive at that will be influenced in other quadrants. So it's a very dynamic and complicated system, but you can still isolate things, and that's why I try to isolate things a lot. And that was my first big theory, about the world. People, they do a lot of theory of everything, particularly in physics. But me, I really try to do a theory of everything with people, and I think it's really with the four quadrant that you kind of arrive at something more that actually become more precise and global at the same time. So yeah, so you still isolate things, and if you associate the square and all that, that do a mandala, and that was a mandala. And that was what Carl was about. He wrote a lot of thoughts about mandala, like squaring the circle, and it's precisely the four quadrant. It's like the four quadrant on steroid, by the way. It's like you associate the four quadrant together. I guess I can paint about it. It's like you do four big categories about the world to try to make sense of it, and after you kind of associate them, try to do something like that. Kind of association, and it kind of does a mandala and at the end of the day, which kind of have the source in the middle. It's kind of a good centering of the self, and also kind of you expand your mind. So it's actually very mediation process. It's very, any I like the mandala. So yeah, it's very cycle alike. Cycle is more NESI process, more a feminine process also. So more renewal. So now we get very abstract and very into NF things, but yeah, it's also very mathematical. So that's why it's also pretty cool. You can see the four side here, in his red books that he talks about a lot of his experience. You can see that there's a lot of four quadrant within it, even the circles on the edge. It's very you associate a lot of four quadrant, and now with circling them, scoring the circle, and it does that. So very powerful symbol, by the way. Even there you see the square. So yeah, centering of the self, expansion of the mind, isolating categories into precise. It's you can say it's kind of a map, a systemic map, and you kind of put particular categories into it, and and now you see kind of how they interact together, and also you can isolate them. So OPS pretty much in there, where I put the type here is pretty much where OPS is. So I'll write it down. For example, this part in the triangle is 3 in the the four quadrant. This one is the first quadrant, this one is the second, this one is the third, this one is the fourth. And OPS, it would be in the middle there. Another thing, I don't know. Society culture is more something like that actually. It's more between the 2 and the 3. So society is there. So even if you isolated the thing, so you can say OPS is there. But OPS is in everything in a way. That OPS didn't spawn out of nothing. It was influenced by society, influenced by some kind of experience. You can say that the English worldview of Dave and Chan, they stem more from the 2 and 3. You can say that, I don't know, their experience stem more from the 4. A particular subjective experience of Dave came to realize OPS was more in 1. The double-blind method, you can say it's more the 2. The scientific process is more 2 and 4 to some degree. You can say 2 and 4. And that's how I write it down. So it's like, okay, OPS is more 1, 3. 1, 3. Scientific process more like 2, 4. Or just 2 sometimes. Strictly, you can say. So that's why it's very complex. And it's kind of a thing that I was really big on in like 2020, 2021. And yeah, I realized that it's actually like I thought it was more a theory of everything that I was trying to do, but with time I just realized it was more a self-awareness. Like it was more a self-awareness thing, that it was more me to be aware of like me, how I categorize things, and kind of centering yourself. So even if it's really scaled you and really help you to see the world, it's not like, it's more a construction that you do in your mind that help you, and you're kind of aware of how you put where you put the categories, and it kind of clean your mind. So that's why also Carl Jung was really like, okay, the mandala is a like it's a self archetype, representation, the mandala, but it's a symbol that help you center yourself and clean stuff. And that's how I actually experienced it myself. I was like, okay, like just categorizing it and all that, it was a pretty long process and like very hard to do to some degree. But like with time, it just is like a symbol that really relax yourself, centers yourself in, and clean your mind. I would say it's really like the thing about it. It's really like it cleans your mind very well. So yeah, the 4 quadrant, very cool.